The Tamar bridge is a suspension bridge. It's a steel structure, so there's lots of metal components. The River Tamar is a salty river, even up to this point, and salt and steel don't really mix very well, and therefore the steel tends to corrode quite a lot because of the marine environment that it's based in. If we don't repaint the bridge, then the paint systems on the structure, they start to break down due to the salty environment and the moisture in the atmosphere, and that causes the steel work to rust. And if you start to lose the thickness of the steel due to the rust, due to corrosion, then you start to lose strength in the structure. And obviously we can't afford to lose that strength in the structure because that compromises the safety of the bridge and also that of the users.
We specialise in industrial painting. We are a specialist access company, so rope access, for example, and difficult access are amongst our specialities. And we are very experienced in painting structures of this nature in harsh environments. We can paint all the way through the summer, all the way through the winter, and that's because of the modern paints that we have these days. Modern paints are very forgiving of harsh environments, they're forgiving of high humidities, and we use a set of epoxies, polyurethanes, aluminium pastes, all sorts of high performance coatings.
The first phase is to go out and make sure the area is suitably clean. So we jet wash areas before we begin preparation. And then preparation, all the work we do here is governed by different standards, international and industry standards. And we prepare all the surfaces to, it's called an ST3, which basically means we very, very thoroughly abrade. We use a tool called a needle gun, which is powered by compressed air, and that's a bunch of needles in a small barrel that chips away any corrosion properties and things that are there. We use needle guns, grinders, hand tools, and the guys will prepare a surface until it's suitably ready to be painted. We'll re-clean it to make sure there's no contaminants remaining on the surface, and then the guys will start applying the coating system. Typically on the bridge that will be an anti-corrosive primer, which will work sacrificially, so that coating, the pigments in that coating will give themselves up in readiness over the steel. To protect that system and to create longevity, we put on a high build epoxy mid coat, which has superior barrier coating to stop water and things like that getting into it. And then we apply a finish coat, and people often are sort of a bit nonchalant about finish coats just because they think it's for colour, but they are selected very specifically for their colour, not just their colour, but their ability to resist things like UV light, chemicals, abrasion, and that's how we finish stuff when we paint it. I've been everywhere. There isn't an inch on the bridge I haven't been, actually. I think I've got quite a different perception of it to most people. Maybe that's because I've worked here for so long, and just lucky that I'm not particularly afraid of heights. But I think when you are exposed out there, so if you're out on the structure and you're abseiling one of the hangars, it can feel, even somebody who's been doing it for as long as I have, when it's a bit windy and a bit cold, you can feel very exposed up there. And of course if you look down, it's a long way down. Maybe the most scary, I think, when you're in suspension and you've got nothing around you. So if you maybe to have abseiled under the bridge, or a location on the bridge where you can't put your feet on anything or you can't put your hands on anything, and you're just kind of just swinging there like a conker in the wind, I think that's probably the most scary. Yeah.
Eventually we'll have to remove all of the paint on the structure and do the whole bridge in one go, and that'll be more like the Forth Road Bridge analogy, where we start at one end of the structure and we finish at the other, and that will come in time, and we know that's going to be approximately 5 or 6 years away. To do that project will probably take 5 to 6 years. That's our best estimate right now, but it's certainly a multi-year project and certainly significant in terms of the impact on the structure.